Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's ODTN use case team call. This call is recorded and probably be published on YouTube as usual. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the ONF Connect call for papers. Just an update for everybody. We finalized the 7 talks to be part of the ODTN session out of all the submissions we got. We have final program committee meeting today where we will finalize everything and then we will notify everybody of acceptance or rejection of the talk. I am very satisfied about the ODTM program. It's everybody who participates in the different aspects of the example platform and the reference design, doing proposals about and talking about what they're doing. So I'm very happy about the different set of talks we have. And thanks everybody who submitted. I think by Friday we will give a notification. Bill will reach out, and I look forward to that. It's been a good program until now. Okay, so next up is the ONF Connect demo. I have some very good news. So I talked today with the people from Telefonica, especially Victor and Oscar, and with people from ADVA. And they are already planning a testbed to be located in Telefonica. So at the moment, the plan is the following. We will have a multi-vendor demo in Telefonica in Madrid, where there is already an ADVA OpenLine system, 2 edge core Cassini boxes, 2 ZT terminal devices, transponders, and 2 ADVA transponders in Telefonica. The idea is that we will use that as a remote platform for the demo, and ZT is going to contribute their driver for the terminal device. And that's going to basically showcase ODTN with the transponders, multi-vendor transponders, and the OpenLine system, as we have usually done, with power configuration, as we discussed. Locally in ONF, we have at the moment committed to have the 2 edge core Cassini, which I already have in Menlo Park. I've been discussing with TIP to provide the 2 Lumentum ROADMs to showcase the ROADM-based scenario we have the capabilities for. I also know that Nokia is willing to provide 2 transponders, and thanks Dominique and Kwan for that. I will probably have to follow up with you guys on a separate thread to discuss if either have them at Menlo or in a separate location, or exactly what's the best option. I also know Harald from. I also have to have a discussion with Harald from Infinera on a separate thread, and to see what's the best option for them to participate too. But at this moment, at this point in time, we're sure to have a physical demo setup with ROADMs and Cassini devices at ONF Connect at the ODTN booth. At the same booth, we will have a remote connection to the Telefonica lab, very much unlike what we did for the OFC demo, showcasing these capabilities for the ODTN platform. I'm pretty happy about this. There's definitely some follow-up that needs to be done, but we are at the point in time where we have some 2 months to make sure everything works together, the integrations run smoothly, and we can easily do not demo, but actually just deploy the code that could go in production with no problem and just show this type of code. Any questions, comments? No? Okay. I will personally follow up with...
Yes.
Oh, please, Dominique, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question concerning the OLS of, because in the minutes I saw OLS from Juniper. Is Juniper confirmed to provide an OLS controller for the demo?
That is still under discussion.
Yeah, and I've been trying to follow up on that for the last week or two to see whether we can. This is Kevin here from Juniper, to see whether we can support either an OLS or an open rodent based transponder for this, but it looks unlikely at this point. But I'm still trying to close on that.
Okay, thanks for that, Kevin. I'll be more than happy to have anything you guys can provide, but it's really up to you. It's really up to you.
Yeah, no, we'd like to be able to do it, but I don't currently have the resource to be able to complete the tasks needed to make it work with ODTN at the moment. So
okay,
that's the challenge I've got.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks for looking into it. That's more than I could. Thanks for looking into it. Okay, perfect. So, any other questions, comments? Okay. No, thanks. Dominique, I'll follow up with you on the two transponders. And Harald, I follow up on our email. If you can take a look at that and we can schedule a meeting hopefully this week, it would be great to sync up between the two of us on that.
Okay, great.
Okay. So yeah, and the idea is to demonstrate the usual scenario with TAPI provisioning, the end-to-end capability and the end-to-end connection, and doing power configuration on the transponders, and in an opportunistic case, do power configuration on the OpenLine system. And if Sterlite has done the integration for the modulation and the FEC with OpenConfig, and any of these devices do support it, we can showcase also that. Okay, great. If anybody has any more questions, just feel free to send me an email. And having said that, I'd like to follow up with the modulation and OSNR work from Sterlite. Can you guys give us an update?
Hello.
Hi, Vishnu.
Hi, Andrea. So yeah, we have made some progress in the code for modulation. So we have actually edited the Yang file. So as we discussed in the last call, so you were saying that we could try editing the Yang model for adding a modulation leaf. So we have actually done that because it made all the sense that in future also there are many features which are not available in the OpenConfig model. So we might require that. So anyhow, we will have to add the leaves that time. So I have already added and compiled the Yang model, adding the OSNR leaf and modulation leaf. So we have made good progress in the code part, and the Cassini boxes. So that's a happy news which got delivered last weekend in our labs. So we are planning on to testing the code, and we can probably contribute it by next weekend, early next week.
Okay. Then we would need to go back to the OpenConfig standard and propose these changes.
Yeah, I was coming to that point actually. Did you contact the OpenConfig guys about this? You were like saying last time that we could try that. So do you have any update on that?
I did contact them. I did not have an update. I do not have an update for that. I think that once we come up with the changes that we would like to have, they will be more receptive to a reach out.
Okay.
So I think, Andrea, we already had some changes that she's mentioning. So we'll submit that changes to OpenConfig, right? And we'll copy you as well there.
Puneet, it's very hard to hear you. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, I'm saying that actually we've already made some changes in the Yang file. So we'll submit to the OpenConfig team and we'll copy to you as well there. We'll have a call with the OpenConfig team to accept.
Okay, sure, that's fine by me. Okay, thanks. Which is good. Guys, I know you guys were planning to do some demo of this work at ONF Connect. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, I think it's a plan, Andrea. So we'll update you on these, right? What all things we will showcase in the demo.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. And the same thing as for the modulation, and the modulation is going on for the OSNR. Basically, you added an OSNR leaf to the OpenConfig, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Yeah, as soon as you have like an idea, you could submit it to either Gerrit or just show me the Yang model, and we can go to the OpenConfig people with this, and let's see what they say. I still think that we should have a backup plan for both in case the OpenConfig models people do not accept our changes. So my take is that if the OpenConfig so there are two things. For the modulation, we need to go back and use the operational mode leaf, and then let every vendor come up with his own thing and come up with his own driver. And for the OSNR, the backup plan would be, as we discussed, the possibility to compute it out of the ESNR, which is present currently in OpenConfig. Is that okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, perfect. And I think that it will be just a matter of changing some implementation in the code, in the drivers. And I think that we could still keep the implementation based on, if this fallback is necessary, we can still keep the implementation based on the changes of the Yang model, but then also have this implementation according to the standard model if they don't accept our changes. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Any other update from the Sterlite side?
No, nothing from me.
Okay. Perfect. And Puneet, thanks for doing the talk at ONF Asia, ONF India. So if anybody's not aware, and if anybody's interested, or you have people that might be interested, there is an event happening in in India. Sorry, it's called Open Networking Forum or something, which is co-organized by ONF, Infosys, and a few other folks. I can definitely share the link. Uh, it's this one, yes. So it's basically happening from July 22nd to July 23rd in the Infosys campus in Bangalore. So if anybody's interested, it's free to attend. So if you're in the area, you can just join. And from the ODTN community, Puneet from Sterlite is going to give a talk about ODTN, giving an overview of ODTN, and then also talking about the work that Sterlite in particular is doing about with ODTN. So if you're interested, this is the website. Just feel free to take a look at the event. It's a 2-day event with a different session and talks. Guru's gonna be there, and a few other people from ONF are gonna be there. There will be some P4 based community. It's interesting. It's an interesting event. So if you guys are interested or in the region and want to go, feel free to join or send somebody from your company in the region. Yes.
Yes, Andrea, could you please copy the link in the minute of your and okay, we'll follow up. Okay, good.
And again, there is no big presence of ONF in the sense that I'm not going, but Puneet is preparing the slide deck for it, and we'll share it with the community as soon as it's ready. So thanks for doing that, and thanks for presenting ODTN at that event. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Let me take a look at the Jira stories. There's some update. So thanks to Alessio, he did move the Lumentum drivers to the device connection cache, which is now distributed. And so meaning that it works on a multi-instance environment of ONOS. Thanks to Booyan, we now have an emulator that can do discovery of a TAPI-based OpenLine system, which we use to test the OpenLine system functionality we have with ADVA. And that is 7993. It's done. It's uploaded on the ODTN simulators repo under GitHub. With 7995, by the way, if anybody's not aware of it, let me just share that. There it is. So this repo has a few emulators that people can use to test against ODTN. Let me just drop them here if anybody's interested. There's the Cassini emulator, which is an OpenConfig based emulator. There's a Lumentum Rodum 20 for the Lumentum Rodum 20, TAPI 2.1, and also a TAPI 2.1 netconf based emulator. This is RESTconf based. This is netconf based. You can read about it. There's been a lot of work done from Booyan in this segment, and yeah, these are used to test functionality and do STC testing within ONOS, but they can be used for anything really. The backend is now fake, but you can actually implement a real backend and talk to a driver with this Docker-based image and also with the code. The idea is that we also publish these as Docker containers. So if you do Docker pull emulator Cassini ODTN emulator something, ODTN emulator TAPI OpenLine System, ODTN emulator OpenConfig, you can actually pull these images and try it out with ONOS. So yeah, that's the work that Booyan has been doing. He also updated, with the help of Sean from ONF, the Rodum GUI to GUI 2, while also adding transponder capabilities. I've been talking with Alessio. He's gonna probably extend this GUI to send down flow root programmable compatible flow roots in order for us to be capable of configuring basically any device that has any optical device that has flow root programmable with it, with a wavelength through this Rodum GUI. Needs a few tweaks, but that's it. I closed the 7841 for myself because now 2.0 is probably going to be a little bit outdated, and 2.2 is actually going to be a long-term support release, at least to the best of my knowledge. Thus, it's probably going to be 2.2 to be the base for the future. I hope that if we can finalize the code by ONF Connect, meaning the transponder and some of the modulation, some of the FAC, we can actually release a ODTN 1.0 based on ONOS 2.2 at ONF Connect. That's my hope. I have not set anything in stone, but I would like to do that. work has been ongoing for the rest of the stuff. The Metro Hall drivers for the Open Roadum are actually in Gerrit. The only thing that is preventing them to be merged is that Ramon told me that he has some final tweaks to make to them. They actually work perfectly fine, but there are a few tweaks here and there, and also Alessio did some comments on them. Yeah, for the rest, Buyan is going to work on storing the sent connectivity services from ONOS into the TAPI emulator in order for then adding a full circle of adding them and then retrieving them from ONOS. From this week, give or take, we are also going to be joined by another intern from ONF, Adib, who's gonna help me do some consolidation of the wiki pages, create some CLI commands, finalize the multi-instance ONOS with Buyan and Jordan, and also make sure that the Open Roadmap app works to create the wavelength rules for the transponders too. It's going to help doing some tidy up of the work and package better what we have at the moment. So that's good. That's good to know. Yeah, I think that's about it. We got an update from Sterlite about the modulation. I need to add actually the OSNR here for Sterlite too, but that's for another time. Actually, let me do that. Okay. And if anybody here has stuff that he's working on and wants to add them to this Kanban board, just feel free to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to add it to Vishnu, and then you guys can figure it out. Just feel free to do exactly what I'm doing and create a story, and that's it. It will pop up here. And so we can track the work that has been ongoing on that. Okay, any questions? Okay. The next topic, but I don't know if we have anybody from TAPI on the call, is... see. No, we don't. So the next is a TAPI update. I'm not sure exactly. I know that they are planning to do a full release of 2.2 in around mid-July. That's what Karthik said last week. The very important point for everybody who was not on last week's call is that we made the decision of about the UID. There was a lengthy debate in ODTN during the OFC timeframe when we implemented the TAPI driver on who exactly should be the responsible for creating the unique identifier. And the problem was that if the server was to create the unique identifier, the TAPI server, the controller, which is the TAPI client in a REST interaction, couldn't know this UID a priori and couldn't actually use it to retrieve any information for that connectivity service. So instead, what we proposed to TAPI, and they actually went back to the RESTconf and REST standard spec to discuss this with them, is that the server should not create the unique identifier, but instead the client should create the unique identifier. And that unique identifier is the one that will be kept by the server to uniquely identify that. This is how currently is done in ODTN. The one thing that needs to be done is that I need to make sure that this is done according to the spec. At the moment, I generate it, I think, by hand in a string-based random numbers. There is a spec to do it, and there is Karthik told me a library, so I will have to work on this. Actually, let me do this. Okay. So the idea is that we need to generate it out of this 4122 standard. And this will make sure that it's actually unique, because everybody will need to implement this. Anybody who uses the TAPI OpenLine system or the TAPI endpoint need to use this interface. So if anybody is actually implementing a TAPI northbound for their OpenLine system, please be aware of this specific thing, that the client, being ONOS, being anybody else, will generate that UUID for you and send it down, and you should accept it, save it, and then return it for the same connectivity service. I'll assign it to myself. Use Java library available. Okay. Perfect. That's gonna be done in the TAPI driver. Okay. Any questions on TAPI? Okay. I will have Karthik give us an update next week, probably, on what's the state of things for the release, because that point is going to be the 9th of July, so it's probably going to be very close to the release date. I know many companies are actually looking into doing that. I know also Sienna is working on a TAPI northbound for their OpenLine system. I need to follow up with them to see if they're interested in participating in ODTN in order to align also their and to test their OpenLine system based on TAPI. I know also Nokia is working on. By the way, Dominique, do you have any update on your OpenLine system?
With respect to the northbound interface, or
Yes.
with respect to not for the moment, to be honest, not recently. I need to check that internally, but we can definitely sync up next time on that.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
For okay, because yes, on we have the RESTconf interface, but I don't know what is the status of which version, in fact, of TAPI, and what is the status of the development on top of the NFMT that is our OpenLine system.
Okay, thanks.
For the moment. And yes, I will provide you more detail, because it's something that it's ongoing and it's a hot topic currently. That's all I can say.
Okay, thanks. Perfect. Okay. I'm still searching for the co-host of the call. Nobody really stepped up. If anybody wants, just feel free to send me an email. I'm gonna do this every time, but let's hope somebody does. There's really no news for the OpenConfig extension proposal. That's it. Kevin, do you have any update on the GNPy integration?
No, not this week.
Okay. Thanks. Then I'm pleased to say that thanks to the work that Telefonica has been doing in the Metro Hall project, there was an accepted article at ECOC for ODTN. It's a paper. So at ECOC, we're already going to have with this paper. And then we're also going to have the ECOC demo that invited ECOC demo that I submitted. And also I'm in talks with the TIP to include ODTN in the TIP booth. And that's probably going to be again with a partial disaggregated transponder plus OpenLine system. and it's probably going to be the same setup as ONF Connect, meaning the Telefonica lab in Madrid, in ECOC, and it's probably going to be also ported to the TIP Summit, which is happening in November. I'm also very happy that we published this week a Lightwave article. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there it is. It's about the work that is ongoing with the reference design. It gives an overview of ODTN. It's just really about, like, you guys probably know all of this, but yeah, it's just something that we did as a reach out, and Lightwave was kind enough to publish it. They asked about it, and we did this. So if you guys are interested, just check it out, and you can read through it. It's a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool read, I think. I don't have any update on the power config issue. ONOS config is progressing forward. We are doing some integration with Stratum. Oh, sorry, I meant to ask. Any question about ECOC, TIP Summit, anything related to that? Okay. I will be there. So we could also organize a lunch of the ODTN community at ECOC. We'll see if I can follow up with that. And it's probably going to be after when I've connected that I follow up about it. It's going to be whoever it is there, we can do that. Okay, NG ONOS, I don't have a particular update. You guys can follow it on the TST. That there are some links and some videos there of the work we're doing. It's progressing fairly well. I hope at some point that we could leverage some of it. Again, I think after ONF Connect, we can do a 1.0 release of ODTN, and then we can maybe look for using some of our ONOS config for 2.0 or 1.5 or something, or 1.1. So yeah, that was all for me. Any questions? Any comments? Anything you guys want to discuss today that was not on the agenda? Okay. If not, thanks everybody for joining. I'll send an update out for next week's call. And in the meantime, let's sync up personally for the demo and for anything else that might be needed. So Dom, please, let's start an email thread on the two Nokia transponders. Harald, let's meet for the Infinera side, and Puneet, let's discuss the OpenConfig side of things. Okay.
Andrea, I have a small question from
Yes.
the last point from your yes, at the end of your document. With respect to the roadmap.
Yes.
Okay, power config is okay, multi-instance is okay, casino integration is okay, automated testing for different scenarios, TX only, TX plus OLS. This is currently the 1.5. What is the plan for the TX plus RODEM? For I understood this is for the fully disaggregated mode here we are talking about, right? With this is a 2.0. Is it something that you have already planned or discussed? Because I missed the two previous meetings. This is the reason why I'm asking back now.
I touched upon it briefly today, but thanks to the contribution from the Metro Hall project, there is a Open RODEM 2.2 fully compliant driver. And so we can reuse most of the testing that we have done for the transponder and transponder plus ONS to actually provision the connectivity across the RODEMs too, thanks to this driver. From a TAPI perspective, nothing changes. From an ONOS perspective, something changes, but just in the drivers, because we're going to use again the intents. So it's been work that has been contributed and out of which I have put very little work on. It was mainly done as part of the Metro Hall project, and also
Mhm.
Tim was involved. Yeah, the idea is that instead of the OpenLine system, you can use multiple RODMs. That's really about.
Okay. Okay. In case you okay, it will be based on the Open RODM data models, right?
Yes. So if here, I can add you to this.
Okay.
So basically, this is let me do this. So this is the review where
Okay.
Ramon sent.
Is there some device, some specific manufacturer that is supporting that is underneath this
So there are
Open RODM?
there are a few. There's also a fully virtualized emulator that the Metro Hall project has. And they have done this demo both on hardware and software 2 weeks ago, I think, at the one conference for European projects. I'm waiting for the video, and I'll share the video of this particular demo with ONOS controlling transponders and RODMs with everybody as soon as it comes.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
If you're interested, Dominique, I'm just popping the link here for Open
Good.
RODM 2. Okay.
Yes, I saw that Open RODM. I saw this VAS in the Jira and okay, but okay, excellent, perfect.
Perfect. Any other questions? Any other thoughts you guys want to share? No? Okay. If not, thanks everybody. I'll send out the email next week and let's sync up over email for the rest of the topics. Thanks everybody. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.